Hello and welcome back to Castlegoat. It is the 5th day of spring, year 1. So far, our intrepid gnomes have managed to build a few of the necessary workshops, mostly crude workshops, which not very good to work with. Everything takes a long time and they've only got a hodgepodge of things that they can make. But from these crude workshops, we've fashioned some more complicated workshops, which are the beginnings of our budding construction industry. And we are going to need that construction industry to even hope of finishing any of the grand designs I have in mind. Now, let's get back to our gnomes whilst they enjoy the remainder of the first few guaranteed days of peace they're going to have, because sooner or later we're going to start seeing animals spawning, and soon after them, goblins. Okay, now then, following comments left in the last episode of Castlegoat, I need to change some things up. Someone quite rightly pointed out that the way I just kind of randomly picked who's going to be a pioneer and provisioner didn't really make use of the, in some cases, quite considerable skills that they had in a specific role. And what I should try and do is have the pioneers and provisioners match their skill set. So we'll have a look through here. Edna's actually got wood cutting and carpentry fairly high. That's fine, pioneer. Sheilab, same. Aavak, yeah, I suspected Aavak wouldn't be. He's more brewing, weaving, cooking. So Aavak's going to be a provisioner. Bomarito, brewing, farming, yeah, you're going to be a provisioner as well. Metasapia, well, could go either way with that, but I would probably say you're more of a provisioner than a pioneer. Well, I'll say you as a provisioner. Dapper Jester, definitely a pioneer. Tamiz, once again a pioneer. Alanara, animal husbandry, cooking. Flying Staplers, construction, mechanic, blacksmithing. Well, Flying Staplers and Metasapia could go either way, but we'll leave them as provisioners for now. Okay. Now, off screen, I've designated a few areas to be leveled, but I'm not really going to be focusing on that too much through this episode. Here and there, I'll be making sure to keep them digging things down, and I'll keep this set of icons up so that's a bit easier for me to do, so I don't have to right-click. But primarily in this episode, we're going to be trying to progress things, so let's speed up the time a little bit. Now, we've got, I believe, 3 pine planks, so we need another 3. And they have to be pine planks so that they can be properly used in conjunction, because we need 6 to make the last... Did I make the other one? Craft it? We need 6 to make the last work table. Yes, it looks like I did. Fantastic. And once we've got that, we'll be able to build our carpenters. And once we've got that, we'll be able to build things like wheelbarrows and crates. Wheelbarrows are specifically interesting. Actually, I need it to make the sawmill, not the carpenter. I keep getting those two things confused. Why I keep getting them confused, I don't know, but I do, and it's a little bit annoying. For me, as much as you, I'm sure it's very annoying for you. Now, how many have we got? We've got, you're actually taking a long time to do that. And people keep wandering off. Where are you going? Are you going up here to collect stuff? Yes, it appears they are. You know what? I'll let you continue doing that. I noticed this whilst just checking things out off screen. You may notice there are actually little bits of land hovering in the air. I quite like this. There's actually quite a lot of it, though. It kind of reminds me of the those floating rocks on, was it Pandora in the film Avatar? I don't remember the name of the planet, unfortunately. Or floating rocks in any kind of fantasy generic Dungeons and Dragons-y themed world. But still, floating rocks all the same. Castlegoat seems to have a little bit of magic about it. Now, it looks like you're actually working on the planks. How much have we got there? We've got 2 there. We still haven't got 2 here, so we need the 3rd to be made. And we're going to be waiting on that, unfortunately. We do need that one made first. In the meanwhile, let's go ahead and actually look at where we're going to be digging into the mountain. Roughly speaking, I would be aiming to cut in around here. So, yeah, when we get our pioneers mining in here for a bit so that we can get at least some sort of really temporary bedroom going. That'll do. This won't be anything like what we're going to end up with, but hopefully once we've got that in there, then we can actually get some straw beds down. They don't take much straw, though we don't have a lot. We've got only a little, actually. We'll use that 4 to make 2 straw beds. Then at least, as long as they sleep in shifts, they might get a little bit of a better sleep. It won't be much of a better sleep, honestly, not sleeping on straw, but still, straw is warmer than dirt, so, you know, these are pioneers. It comes with the territory. They knew what they were signing up for. Well, they didn't, really. I tricked them all. Still, now they're here. Right, so we want furniture, straw bed. Now, unless you're very lucky, this is almost certainly going to be the first type of bed you make. And hopefully our gnomes do appreciate it. Now, what else is going on? We've got the wheat growing, but it's going to be a little while before we get any wheat from that. I've also had our pioneers chopping down the wood over here. We also need to get a couple of these. I noticed that we only had the log types for apple wood, which is a bit of a pain because it's still there. That means that we can't set up applewood planks to be made yet, specifically, that is. Gnomoria does have this kind of annoying thing where until you've actually got at least one of that item around, you can't set up any specific crafting orders that would use it. As soon as there is a single applewood log, I can tell them to make 100 applewood planks, and then the build order will just kind of sit there until there are enough applewood logs to fulfill it. But until I've got at least one of them, then I can't set any applewood planks to be made, and it is a bit of a shame. I can understand it with things like with the research tree, because you don't want people just queuing up, I don't know, some kind of crazy trap years before they've actually researched the trap itself. So, you know, how would the gnomes even know what you were asking them to make? But with things that, like the wood types, it's reasonable to assume that we do know what applewood is. But that aside, are they sleeping? Yes, they are. Okay. Well, that's pretty good. And actually, it's fantastic luck that you flying staplers picked up both the helmet and the breastplate. That's really good, actually, flying staplers. Though I really wish you wouldn't hold on to the copper axe. Yeah. Maybe I need to change this because there's a wood chopper out there who can't do their job because you're cradling the copper axe. So how about we have a look into this? Currently, we've got the hard times set up. We don't want that. In fact, honestly, thinking about it, since we are specifically telling them to do the way of the gnome, that is no armor, no weapons, let's tell them not to wear any type of armor or any type of weapon. That way, if they need to do a job, they'll have it, and the armor will be left until later. I think that's probably the best thing to do. So hopefully when Flying Staplers wakes up, she'll realize that she's wearing things she shouldn't be wearing, and she will take them off. Now, one of the things we definitely need to be... Ooh, have they finished? Yes, they have. Ah, fantastic. Let's quickly get this going before I do anything else. But what I was about to say is one of the things we're going to need is a well. I'm thinking I'll just build a temporary well here. I won't wall it off or do anything fancy with it. It'll just be a well. Just so that, you know, in hard times, if there's nothing else to drink, they can at least get some water. Because, you know, obviously if they die of thirst, then that brings a very sharp and somewhat anticlimactic end to Castlegoat's story. And we wouldn't want that. Now, let's bring the walls back up. It looks like Flying Staplers and... who's this? And Bomberito are sleeping for a little while, so that's fine. Now, the plans with the walls. A couple of people have displayed shock and horror at the idea of me not walling in. Now, I am going to be building walls. I'm not going to be just leaving this place completely open and anything can attack me from any direction. That isn't the idea. The idea is to have walls, obviously, because, you know, even if you're not going to seal yourself in completely, you do kind of want to control where enemies might come at you from. What I'm thinking is, based on the lay of the land, we'll be having our guardhouse over here. But they're not going to be able to enter from this point. That's not my plan. I'm actually going to have a tunnel running along here and out somewhere over here that people will have to go into travel along, and then it'll come out into the guardhouse. And the guardhouse will basically be a training area, much the same that I had in Spider Slaughter, but, you know, actually working this time. I'm not going to be messing around with mechanical walls for quite some time, but it'll have a training ground, it'll have some food storage, drink storage, table chairs, and bedding for the actual military that will be stationed there. So any attackers will have to go down this long tunnel and then fight my military, who will always more or less be in the guardhouse. I've actually got a couple of other ideas of what I'm going to be doing with that should help me. I'm going to keep those cards close to my chest, though, because I don't know if it's going to pan out the way I hope it will, and it'll look a bit silly if it doesn't. But I've got high hopes. Now, have they actually built this yet? No? Come on. I need that workshop made, or rather the workbench. But everyone is sleeping. Ah, it's because you are making lots of work for them to do. Damn it, I shouldn't have let you do that until we had wheelbarrows. That was very silly of me, and it has gone very dark all of a sudden. Let's scroll down so that we can actually see what we're doing. Okay, well, while you're doing that, I suppose I can do a little bit more terrain modification. We want to remove these ramps. This is the line that I'm going to be building against. And then up here we're going to be digging down some more, so we want ramps there. And yeah, that looks about right actually. We'll take this along that far, like so. And we'll do the same over here. I don't want to get too wrapped up in this, but I do want to try and make the wall nice and even if it's possible to do so. We want it to go back about there. Oh wait, no, that's wrong, isn't it? Let me scroll that down. Yes, it is. So, cancel job. Cancel job. I need to make sure the ones up here are done first. Okay, phew. Crisis averted. That would have been all sorts of in the wrong place, and I would have been very, very annoyed at myself. But, once that's done, we should be good. Take this bit down. And here as well. Now then, how's the workshop going? Has anyone made it? Workbench? No? Damn it. Oh. Wait a second. I thought we had all the planks we needed. 3. Ah, no. No, we do. Pine. Yes. Okay. So we've got the 6 pine planks. I wonder why this is throwing a problem there. Let me get rid of this. We'll cancel this one. No, okay. Apparently something's trying to be built that requires a plank. I don't see what it would be, but okay. We'll try and make the workbench over here instead. Might be a bit of a bug, but we'll definitely turn that off and hopefully things will start working the way they're meant to work. We can just turn off accept auto-generated jobs, which would probably fix it. Yeah. Now if we turn it back on, maybe that'll be gone. Very, very curious indeed. I don't know what all that was about, honestly. But we should have all of the planks that we need. Let me just double check that in items. There may be some sort of shenanigans going on. No, we've got 6 pine planks. That's queued. And this? No. Okay, well, we're waiting on that then. In the meanwhile, I think I will cut the waiting out just until we've got the workbench. So I shall see you in a few moments. Okay, workbench has been made, which means we can now actually make the workshop, which of course is the sawmill. We've got the bench, we've got the chair, and we've got the saw blade. Fantastic. Now we'll just pop this down here along with the others, just for simplicity's sake. And whilst they're doing that, we can finally deconstruct these clumsy monstrosities. Ah, it's going to be good to get rid of those. Ah, damn it. Ah, there's now a piece of dirt just hovering in the air. Now I need to build terrain just to get rid of it. Let's build a soil floor. Damn it. This always happens. As soon as that's built, they should be able to get rid of that, and then we can tear the rest of that area down and take it all the way back to the cliff. And ramp down this along there. There we go. Now then, I think it is about time for us to start trying to coordinate these places off so that we do have areas where goblins and the likes won't simply be able to just walk straight up to us. So first part of that will be removing, let's see, I want to remove these ramps there and there. I'm not sure where I'm going to take this all the way back to. I think it'll be along here that I'll make the wall just for now. So we'll remove these ramps there and up to this point. We'll leave just one ramp there just so that I can get up there and continue to build like walls back. Actually, thinking about it, yeah, that should work. Hopefully, maybe, possibly. It will be a bit of a potch because I'm going to have to make this a sheer drop just so things can't walk up and down. It'll be a little bit fiddly, so I might do all of that off screen. But we finally have our sawmill, so let's set up some things to be made. Now, as we've got the apple wood, we can go ahead and set that up. And these are going to be craft 2 jobs. I want at least 5 of every type of plank made. And then I will want them to make up to 20 of each one. Or 10 of each one, I suppose, would probably be a better one. Now, the reason why you do it like this is so that they don't get hung up on making one thing. For example, if I wanted to make something specifically out of birch planks and I needed exactly 10 of them to make it. The problem, if I just set all of these up to, say, like, craft 20 of, it would first do 20 applewood planks, then 20 pine, then 20 orange, and then finally get to 20 birch. And if in that time someone had used one of the applewood planks, it would go back to making those before finishing the birch planks. So by staggering it like this, it'll ensure that there's always at least 5 of something. Now, that isn't obviously going to help if they do end up needing exactly 10 of something, but it will help in cases where I'm just waiting on a single plank, but it's at the very end of the list, because it will try to maintain at least 5 birch planks before it makes the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th applewood plank, and so on and so forth. Now, that should be good enough for now, and we'll just let them get used to that. Now then, one of the things I want to show you, and I have already mentioned, the wheelbarrow. This thing is amazing considering how things used to go and how they've been going so far, even here. Now, there should already be a pine plank, so just go ahead and make some sticks with that. As soon as we've got those sticks, we will be setting that up to make a wheelbarrow. Now, the way wheelbarrows work is a little bit weird. They'll store the wheelbarrow in the stockpile, but it won't actually take up a space of its own. It'll just kind of sit in the stockpile. When they then, if they've got a job to haul something, just like one item, they're not going to grab the wheelbarrow for that. Unlike Dwarf Fortress, where if a stockpile is assigned to use a wheelbarrow, they will always use the wheelbarrow. What they do in Gnomoria instead is they try to be a little intelligent, though, you know, sometimes, as is usually the case when a computer tries to second guess you, this can lead to issues. But on the whole, it tries to be at least a little bit intelligent in how it picks whether it needs a wheelbarrow or not. So lots of small things, it doesn't really care about it. But for example, dirt or logs, if they've got a lot of those to pick up, they will grab the wheelbarrow instead and haul that along. Now, we'll need some crates before I can really show that to you, but we've got the sticks there. We should be able to, if we've got enough planks, we should be able to make a wheelbarrow. You need 2 sticks, which we've got. We've got pine sticks, so we'll use pine planks. Ah, damn it. There, see what I mean? We need the remaining pine planks to be made. Oh, though actually, having said that, we should actually be able to set this up to be made, and it'll just wait until there are pine planks. Not that it's an issue now, but we'll actually have 2 of these made. And these aren't assigned to a stockpile. They're just made and they'll be left somewhere. They're basically crates that a gnome will grab and use for hauling. They've got an internal inventory of about 32, much like a crate does. And they'll just be left wherever. If a gnome gets startled whilst he's trying to haul things in his wheelbarrow, he'll just leave the wheelbarrow there and everything inside it. And someone else can come along then and just grab the wheelbarrow or grab items out of the wheelbarrow as needed. Now, we want a couple of crates, though. Then I can actually show you this in action. For the crates, we'll make them out of apple wood, since they're there. They cost 4 each. We'll make 3 apple... No, we'll make 2 apple wood crates. Because I don't know actually how much apple wood we've got. On that note, we'll set them up to get a little bit more as well. We haven't made groves yet. That will be something we do eventually. But for now, that's a bit of a priority. And now that we've actually got planks, I guess I should also get that well made. So let's go to the well. We need 4 types of any plank. We'll use pine planks for this. And, well, we've only got basalt blocks, so... And if we just pop this there, that'll be our temporary well. Now, we have had some badness with wells before, and I'm just going to kind of trust these guys. I hope they've heard the stories of what happened to people who spar around the well, and they should hopefully avoid the same fate. Now, what we want over here is to build up the walls. Now, as I said, this is going to be a bit of a tricky one. It will take me quite some time to get all of this wall finished over here, so I'll probably do a lot of this off screen. But just to show you what I'm going to be doing, we're just going to be using soil, or rather dirt clumps. One there, one there, one here, and that's going to be our corner. And as they're built, I'm going to have them build the next one along so that they can constantly get these fleshed out. Eventually I will probably go along the top and give them actual dirt floors on top of these walls so they can be walked on. Whether or not I do that, though, it is a bit up in the air. But it is something I would like to do. Now, we've got the crates. So let's get this storage crate made. We've only got one at the moment, but that's fine. There should be more than enough for what we need. Now, hopefully, they're going to try and store logs in this, which means they should use the wheelbarrow. There we go. And that is the power of the wheelbarrow. Look how fast he's going. And then he just dumps all of them in there. And now he'll probably do the same to pick up logs to fill up all of these spaces. That makes things so much easier. It's ridiculous how much easier it makes it. And he'll do it the same with dirt. And you may have noticed there that he grabbed a single wheelbarrow load to drop off in 3 separate locations. And he picked up enough just to drop off there. So, you know, it's fairly intelligent in how they try to use it. Now then, what we are going to be doing is building this wall along here. So we can start on that now. And this one isn't going to be as fiddly because it's just a long wall. So we can get that one set up. And there we go. And ultimately, like I said, they're going to be coming along in a tunnel. And for that, I may as well start pulling this down so that we've got the wall of the tunnel, if you like. So dig again, ramp down. A lot of the early part of Castlegoat is terraforming. I know it's not the most interesting stuff, and that's why I will be doing a lot of this off screen. But just to get everything in the right sort of shape to begin with, I think is going to be really useful for the fort. Whereas with Spider Slaughter, we didn't have to do too much terraforming, thankfully. But had I really planned out what I was going to do, I think I probably would have been able to get things done a little bit better there. Let's go ahead and remove those ramps so that wall can be done. I'm gonna have that will be fiddly to do, unfortunately, but not much I can do about that. Now then, we've got a lot of space here, and we have got lots of planks. So let's start looking at what we can build. Now, first things we could probably do with are a kitchen and a distillery. What does this need? This needs a table. We've already got it, and 2 barrels. So can we have 2 barrels, please? Let's find where you are. Now, I would like to be able to just set up, always keep 1 barrel spare, but unfortunately, barrels, crates, and bags don't get stored like furniture if they're not specifically built to store things. So they just end up clogging up the carpentry place. I suppose at some later point I could make a specific carpenter's workshop that always just made one barrel, one crate, and just kept a small stock of them. That actually might be a good idea. I'll keep that in mind. We need 4 planks of any type. Use pine planks, so there should be loads of those around. We're going to need 2 of these, and then we'll be able to build the distillery. And we'll also want a kitchen. Now the kitchen is probably going to need knives. It's going to need a knife, a chair, and a table. Now, can I make those? Can I just make those? Can we make a knife? Yeah, we can. Knife blade. Knife needs a hilt though. So we'll need 1 knife blade. We'll also have 1 chair, 1 table. And the hilt is almost certainly going to need a stick. You see how complicated it gets now? Though, again, if you don't want to deal with this sort of level of complexity, you can just have them auto-craft the ingredients as and when you need it. And they will do that all the way down the production chain. Like, I could just say, make a kitchen, and it would queue up a knife blade in the stonemason's workshop, a knife in the stonemason's workshop, and then a hilt in the carpenter's workshop. But I do like doing this myself. Eventually, once we've got everything set up the way we want it to be, this will all just be done. I'll keep like a stock of hilts, a stock of sticks, things like that, so that whenever I make something, it's all automatic anyway, but it's just automatic in a way that I can control quite specifically. I'll have to wait for the applewood stick to be made, so I'll just take that away. Again, because I've never made an applewood stick before, I can't queue up applewood sticks, which is a little bit frustrating. Or rather, queue up things to use applewood sticks. You need to have made it at least once before a workshop will realize it's there. No, don't craft those. Turn those off. Otherwise, it's going to start setting up all sorts of things in the sawmill. That should all be okay. This place, again, those should be fine, but if I queue up a knife... damn. Well, I can just set that up now and just tell it not to craft ingredients, and it should be okay. Right then. Now, as I said, we're going to be having the gatehouse over here, so I guess I can start laying down the foundations for that. But one thing I don't want to do is just build out of dirt to start with. Though, actually, having said that, I could lay down a dirt wall outside the perimeter of the gatehouse, and then just build a stone wall inside that. I suppose that would work. Where do I need to be? Terrain. Wall. Do we actually have enough blocks? We've got 18 blocks. No, we're going to do it like this. Start as you mean to go on, and I mean to go on with a proper gatehouse. One that the soldiers will be proud to work in. I'm not sure what the dimensions should be, though. That may be a bit of a problem. We'll make something about this big for now. Leave a little room so they can get out and do the corners. We'll also have to do all of the floors, and of course the floors will have to look quite snazzy. You know, again, these are our soldiers. They need to work in a place that they can feel proud working. And finally, we've actually got things growing. Now, we've got enough wheat straw that we should be good. Actually, thinking about it, let's have our stonemason also make a trough while we're here. It's going to take 4 blocks. My lord, that's a lot. Okay, you make a trough. And we'll also set down some more beds. So let's get those going. Straw beds. There we are. Oh, Bomberito can't find a path to something. I wonder what he was looking for. What's wrong, Bomberito? Oh, they're spazzing out a little bit. Never mind. That does occasionally happen, but eventually it fixes itself, that I've noticed. So if you do see them going crazy, don't panic too much. Unless you've got experience to the contrary, in which case let me know, because I'm not panicking right now, but perhaps I should. But there we go. That will be the wall there. I'm not... Well, I could wall this off as well, just to prevent any goblins or anything that's on this side of the lake and can't eventually get to us from scaring all of the gnomes inside. But for now, we'll leave it like that, I think. This wall is done, but it isn't protecting us at all because things can just walk around outside. But if we remove these ramps, then perhaps I can just quickly create some level of defense. If I take that away and that actually should make that area fairly safe, I think. This side, not so much, but that's going to come with time. I'll let you finish that off, and we'll allow things to just come over here and attack us for now. Like I said, we're not going to be closing this off, but... Oh, on that note, someone did tell me that I should probably go into the squads and make sure that... where is it? Avoid enemies is on. This way, if they spot a bear, they're not going to charge off and try to fight it, thinking that they're all superheroes, because they definitely aren't. And right now, the goblins that we're most likely to fight are probably going to be significantly weaker than bears. In fact, bears and monitor lizards and possibly honey badgers are the things to worry about right now. Later on, it'll become other things, but for the time being, those are the more dangerous creatures that are likely to appear in our fort. That's actually a fairly nice wall. I could just pad this wall out to the same depth. I think I might do that. But it looks like we've got our barrels, so for one of the last things that I'm going to do in this episode is get our distillery up, I think. Let's see. Yep, everything is set. Let's go ahead and get us some booze. Distillery, have we actually got everything we need for the kitchen yet? Because that would be quite nice to end on a functioning food and drink industry. Yes, in fact we do. Haha! Fantastic. Get to work, gnomes. Good times. We're moving on. Or moving up, I should say. We are kind of moving on as well. Oh, wow. How did you get meat on there? All you took towards that place was a knife and a bunch of tables and chairs. Most suspicious. But if we have a look in here, I wonder what we can make. We've got some grains, so we could start making this. Interestingly, wheat and wheat grain are two separate things now, so you're not going to be cutting into your yak's food by making bread. So that's quite nice. So I'll set these up off screen though. I'll just set up some production orders to make sure we've got a stock of food and a stock of drink. But yeah, things are starting to look up for our gnomes. They actually have food. They're somewhat well defended. Obviously, things can still get in over here, and we want to close that off. But we are actually starting to make some progress. And on that rather hopeful note, we're going to be wrapping things up there. In this episode, we've managed to flesh out our budding construction industry, and we've even managed to set up a food and drink industry, though we haven't actually used it yet. Though with our farms already starting to produce, there's no reason why we won't be able to meet the demands of such a small fort. Whether or not we'll need to expand those farms to be able to cater to any added migrants remains to be seen, but there's still plenty of fruit out and about around the map. Now, in the next episode, we will be continuing to build up the guardhouse and to shape the land around the fort, possibly finishing off the walls, though I will be doing some of that off-screen, as I've said. By and large, I'm going to be trying to avoid doing too much off-screen. I know a lot of you like to see it all happen, but there are certain things at the very beginning of a fort which does just come down to waiting for people to build things or to construct walls. So I'm going to try and keep that off screen where I can. But that's about it for this episode. So I hope you've enjoyed this one. I hope you will join me for the next. But from myself and from all of the gnomes in Castlegoat, do take care.